we're talking about soloing over Autumn Leaves, and I'm going to show you how to do it in like 7 different approaches, going from the most basic to more advanced. First thing we got to do is learn the chord changes, so let's go through those real quick. And we'll do it in the key of G minor. It's played in that key probably more often than the original key, which is E minor. But for soloing, let's do the key of G minor. It'll be easy to transpose it to E minor later if we want. So we've got our first chord, C minor 7. We're going to go to an F9 chord. Then we're going to B flat major 7, E flat major 9, A half diminished, D7 flat 9, G minor 6. And then we're going to do that again. C minor 7, F9, B flat major, well this is major 6, that works. E flat major 9, A half diminished, D7 flat 9, and then G minor. Now we're at the B section. A half diminished, D7, G minor 6, and then we're going to go to C minor 7, F7, B flat, E flat, and I'm just using the same chord voicings. A, D, and now we're going to do this walk down, G minor 9, F sharp 9, F, well I guess G flat 9, and then F minor 9, E 9, and then to E flat major, and then A, D, G minor. Okay, so we've got those chord changes now, and those are the chord changes we're going to be working from. Now, soloing on it, the most basic way to start out, we're in the key of G minor. So the G minor pentatonic will kind of work over all these chord changes. So you're probably at this point familiar with the minor pentatonic scale, but just in case you're not, we can go through it a little bit. I'll show you just one position for now. I'll do another video on all the positions of the minor pentatonic. I think I may have already done that. We're starting from G, and the fingering is going to be, we're starting on the 3rd fret with the first finger, 1 finger per fret. Fingers 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. Coming back down, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1. There we go. And now I made a loop ahead of time of the chord changes, and I'm just going to demonstrate what it sounds like using the G minor pentatonic to solo over it. And I'll try to play fairly basic, more simple stuff, and I'll try not to stray too far away from this position that we're focused on right now. Okay, here we go. And that was the whole chorus, and I only used the pentatonic scale. Now I may have slid into some notes. And that takes me to the next the next way to approach this, and that's using the G minor blues scale. So the blues scale is just like the pentatonic scale, but we're adding the sharp 4, the C sharp, or you could think of it as flat 5 also, D flat. So this note, we're adding that to our pentatonic scale, and it ends up sounding like this. Okay, so let's solo now using the G minor pentatonic scale, or the G minor blues scale, and we'll see what that gives us. Here we go. Not bad, right? It's starting to sound like something very bluesy. Not so jazzy yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. So that's using one scale to solo over all those chord changes. And it kind of works, right? Because all those notes in the scale kind of work over those chord changes. Over the 2-5-1 to B flat, and over the minor 2-5-1 to G minor. And that's pretty much the whole song. We have that little walk down. And that's kind of like just a 3-6-2-5-1 to E flat. And then we're going to the D7, G minor. But they all work with those scales. So this next approach is going to use one scale as well. And that's going to be the harmonic minor bebop scale. So what that is, it's the harmonic minor scale. But we're also going to have the flat 7 in there too, the minor 7. So the notes are going to be G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, F sharp, and G. Sounds pretty cool just by itself, right? So now let's see how that works with our over our chord changes, just using that one scale. So let's check it out. So that was using pretty much just that harmonic minor bebop scale. So that's the minor scale with a flat 7 and a major 7. So F and an F sharp. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere, right? So now what we can do is start using more than one scale. So if we think of the chord changes as being divided into a minor section and a major section, check this out. We can think of all these chords, the C minor 7, F7, B flat major 7, and E flat major 7, all as being from one scale. All of those come from the B flat major scale. So in terms of B flat, the C would be the 2. It's the second chord in the scale. The F would be the 5. It's the 5th chord in the scale. B flat, C, D, E flat, F. F is 5. And then the B flat is 1. And then the E flat is 4. Okay, so we have 2, 5, 1, 4 in the key of B flat. Right? So we can think B flat major over all this. Or sticking with our minor, or thinking about things in terms of minor, the B flat major is the same as G natural minor. So if we play the B flat major scale and put it in a context of G minor, by maybe starting on G, it becomes our G natural minor scale. Same notes. Right, B flat major. G minor. Same notes. Okay, so we can think G natural minor, which is the same notes as B flat major. So G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, and F. And then that repeats. G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G. And we can grab another A and B up here if we want. Okay? B flat, sorry. A and B flat. So that will be for our first half. The C minor 7, F7, B flat, E flat. Now, what do we do when we get to the minor 2-5-1? We can think of this A half diminished as a 2, the D7 flat 9 as a 5, and then the G minor as a 1 chord. So 2, 5, 1 to G minor. Now, over this G minor 2-5-1, we can play the G harmonic minor, because all those chords work. They all come from that G harmonic minor scale, or they all live inside that scale. So that scale will work for all of them, right? So when we're soloing over it, when it's doing the C, F, B flat, E flat, we're thinking B flat major or G natural minor. And then when it's doing that A half diminished, D7, G minor, we're thinking G harmonic minor. Okay? Even though I'm playing a minor 6, the harmonic minor will still, it'll still work. Even though the harmonic minor has a flat 6. But trust me, it'll work. Check this out. So G natural minor over the major 2-5, G harmonic minor over the minor 2-5. This is what it's going to sound like. Right, so that was the harmonic minor, natural minor. Harmonic minor. This is going to be harmonic minor again. Natural minor. I added something different in there. Harmonic minor. Maybe I'll go to the blues here. I went to the harmonic minor a little bit there. Okay, and then we're back at the top. So When it was the minor 2/5, I was using B flat major or G natural minor. When it was the minor 2/5, I was using the G harmonic minor. And then when it did the walk down, I used the G blues scale, which you don't have to do, but it works. Okay? And then it gives the audience, it gives your listener something familiar to grab onto, because everybody knows the blues internally, you know? And everybody can kind of relate to that in some way. Okay, great. So now we've got one chord, or one scale, being the pentatonic. We've got one scale, the G minor blues, one scale, the harmonic minor bbop, and then we've got two scales, the G harmonic minor and G natural minor. So that's 4 different ways of approaching soloing. And of course, you got to spend some time with these. You can't just gloss over it and be like, okay, or just like hear me talking about it and be like, okay, I get it. You have to do it. You have to actually do it. Okay, so next approach is going to be using chord tones. Now this takes a little bit longer to get to, but let's get into it. So chord tone soloing. To do this, you're going to have to know what the chord tones are in all of the chords that are going by. So let's get into it. So for the C minor 7 is made up of 4 notes: C, E flat, G, and B flat. Okay, so those are going to be our choices when we're playing over the C minor 7 chord. C, E flat, G, and B flat. Just for now. We're just limiting ourselves for now. When we're playing over the F7, those 4 notes are going to be F, A, C, and E flat. Notice there are some common tones, that C and E flat are common tones between the C minor 7 and F7. So keep that in mind. Okay. The B flat, we're going to have B flat, D, F, and A. Now we have the F and A that are common tones between the F7 and the B flat major. Just keep that in mind for later. And then the E flat major 7 is going to be E flat, G, B flat, D. So let's take just that little bit, the first 4 chords, C, F, B flat, E flat. And I think that'll kind of give you an idea of how to approach the next part. But we'll do that as well. So we want to locate all those notes. So if you don't know where all the notes are on the guitar yet, I have another video. Maybe I can link to that somehow. I'll see if I can figure that out. I'll put a link to it, and you can learn where all the notes are, because that's really important. So a good thing to start doing is take it slow and play only chord tones. Maybe you can even just do root and third over all the chord changes. So root and third of C would be C and E flat. You can play those anywhere, right? And then for the F7, your root and third are going to be F and A. For B flat, it'll be B flat and D. And E flat, it'll be E flat and G. So I'm going to try that just on the first 4 bars. Here we go. 1, 2, Okay. So I was trying to play something rhythmic and something that sounded kind of like a melody. It's hard with just only two notes to deal with for each chord, and having it be the same 2 notes, the root and third. Now if we keep going with that same idea over the A half diminished, D7, G minor 6, our root and third of A will be A and C, root and third of D7 will be D and F sharp, and our root and third of G minor will be G and B flat. So let's see what we can come up with for the first 8 bars now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I played a 5th in there. My bad. Maybe let's add the 5th down. Okay, so that's our A section right there. It was starting to sound like something, right? So I was playing only roots and thirds for the most part. I tripped up and played a 5th when I was on that G minor chord. But that's all right, you know. Nobody got hurt, right? So now let's add the 5th in there. So now we can play the triad of each chord. So we've got root, third, 5th, 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 and root, third, 5th. So for C minor, C, E flat, G. For F7, F, A, C. B flat is B flat, D, F. E flat is E flat, G, B flat. A, for A half diminished, is A, C, E flat. The D7 is D, F sharp, A. And then the G minor, G, B flat, D. Let's see what we can come up with just using those notes now. Just the triads. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take the next day too. C minor. Okay, so I strayed away from the triad a little bit, but not too much. I was just following my ear, which is an important thing to allow yourself to do, is follow what your ear wants to hear. If it sounds good to you, then it's good. All right? So that was using just the triads. We're still on the chord tones only category of our 7 different levels. So we're still on just chord tones. Let's add the 7ths in there now. So what are the 7ths? We went over that before with C minor 7 being C, E flat, G, B flat, F7, F, A, C, E flat, B flat major 7, B flat, D, F, A, E flat major 7, E flat, G, B flat, D, the A minor 7 flat 5, A, C, E flat, G, and then the D7, D, F sharp, A, C, and the G minor 6, G, B flat, D, E. So we have an E instead of an F, the 6th instead of the 7th. Okay, here we go. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Our A section right there, using only notes in the 7th chords, or in the case of the G minor, the 6th chord. I did play the 7th in there, so don't send me hate mail. I know I played the 7th over the G minor one time, but everything else I think was sticking to the chord tones. And you can expand this chord tone concept by adding in the 9ths the 11ths, and the 13ths, and then you have the whole scale. You have the whole mode that these chords are coming from. So what do I mean by that? Good question. If you keep going up in thirds, let's take our C minor 7 for instance. We've got C, E flat, G, B flat. If we add the 9th, we've got a D. If we add the 11th, we've got an F. And if we have the 13, we have an A. So all those notes together, C, E flat, G, A, C, E flat, G, B flat, D, F, A. We end up with all the notes in the B flat major scale. What? So when you have a C minor 7 chord that has the 11th, the 9th, the 11th, and the 13th, we have all 7 notes. Root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th. That's all 7 notes in the scale. So the chords and the scales are the same thing. Yes, chords and scales are the same thing. It's just how you arrange them. When you play them like this, C Dorian. When you play it like this, that's still C Dorian, but it's also a C minor 11 or C minor 13 chord. Root, 3rd, 5th, 7, 9, 11, 13, root again. Same notes. C, E flat, G, B flat, D, F, A. Crazy, right? And that works for all the chords. That's true for all the chords. If you keep adding up stacking it up in thirds, you end up with the full 7-note scale. Anyway, I digress. Let's get into, that actually kind of takes us into our next approach, which is using different modes or different scales for each chord. And this is a good approach for a lot of jazz songs. For this one, you don't have to do it so much because some big chunks of the chords are all from the same scale. So let's do it just as an exercise though. So for C minor 7, the C minor 7 chord, we're going to use the D or the C Dorian scale. So what is that? That's going to be C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and B flat. Then it repeats. C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C. Sounds nice, right? And those notes are the same notes that are in the B flat major scale. We're just thinking of them in terms of C. Like all the notes mean a particular thing to C. Like when we're talking about C, from the perspective of C, C is the root. When we're talking about D, D is the 9th. The E flat is the, I did say E flat, right? I hope so. I meant E flat. The E flat is the 3rd, and so on. F is the 4th, and so on. So all these notes mean something to C. So that's when we're in C Dorian. You know, when B flat means the minor 7, when D means the 9th, and F means the 11th, and A means the 13th, and so on. That's being in C Dorian. Okay, and then for the F7, we're going to do F Mixolydian. And the F Mixolydian scale sounds like this. And that's F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat. And then we're back to F again. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat. Right? So again, it's the same notes that are in B flat major. They just all mean something different, you know? So that A is no longer the 13 like it was to C. To F, this A means major 3rd. And the B flat is no longer that 7th. The B flat is the 4, like the sus4 or the 11. Right? When we're thinking of it in terms of F. So that's what it means to be in the Mixolydian mode. Okay? And then we go to B flat major. This would be B flat Ionian. Another name for the B flat major scale. B flat Ionian. And then the E flat is going to be E flat Lydian. So it's still the same notes as B flat major, just we're thinking of them in terms of E flat. So E flat is now the root. F is the 2nd or the 9th. G is the 3rd. A is the sharp 11. B flat is the 5th. C is the 6th, and D is the major 7. So if we just play these modes, you can hear the chord changes going by. So check this out. I'll play it without the loop. I almost played E flat major. Check that out again. Right? You can hear those chord changes going by. So that's using a different mode for each chord. Let's get to the modes that we use for the minor 2-5-1, because these can be a little bit more interesting when we get away from just using the harmonic minor for that section. So check this out. For the A half diminished, the minor 7 flat 5, we're going to use the mode of the C melodic minor that starts on A. So it's going to be A, B, C, D, E flat, F, G, and then A again. So that could be called the Aeolian flat 5, might be a name for it, or it could be the Locrian sharp 2, maybe. I don't remember what it's called. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to ask you at a jam session what that scale is called. Okay. But it's a root, major 2nd, minor 3rd, 4th, flat 5th, flat 6th, and flat 7. That's going to be for our A minor 7 flat 5. The D7, all of these are going to use the melodic minor, by the way. So the A minor scale is coming from the C melodic minor. The D7 scale is going to be the D super Locrian, or the D altered scale, as most of us like to call it. And that's going to be coming from the E flat melodic minor, but starting on D, or focusing around D. So that's root, flat 9, sharp 9, major 3rd, sharp 4, sharp 5, and flat 7. And then we're going to go to the G minor, and we're going to play G melodic minor. So that's root, 2nd, minor 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, major 6th, major 7. Okay, great. So once again, our major 2-5, C Dorian, F Mixolydian, B flat Ionian, E flat Lydian, and then our minor 2-5 is going to be A low Korean sharp 2, D altered scale, and G melodic minor. Okay, so what does that sound like now over these chord changes? Let's try it out. Okay, cool. It's starting to sound like jazz, right? We're getting somewhere because we're acknowledging the changes. You know what I mean? You can think of it as these chord changes are like coming in, and if you don't acknowledge them, it's like ignoring a person that comes into the room. You wouldn't want to do that, right? You gotta say what's up to them, you know. And to do that, you play one of their chord tones or land on one of their chord tones just to be like, yo, I recognize that you're here. I acknowledge you. You know what I'm saying? So that's using the different modes and different scales for each chord. All right? And the final approach that we're going to talk about in this lesson is just developing language and following your ear. So all of these other ways, using these scales and using these modes and thinking about chord tones, those are like safety nets. You can think of those as like a safety net for when your ear is not telling you what to do. So how do you train your ear? Well, one good way is listening to a lot of music and trying to absorb what you can and try to figure out what you can by ear. Learn other people's solos. You don't have to learn the whole solo. I rarely ever learned people's entire solos unless I was teaching it to somebody. Because you're not going to want to play somebody's whole solo on a gig, but you might play some licks from that person. So that's how you start to develop your own language. And these things kind of sneak in. They sneak into your playing without you even knowing. Just by listening a lot and practicing and breaking down that barrier between what your ear hears and what your fingers can do. And practicing your scales, practicing your arpeggios, doing exercises, all that stuff is really just to break down that wall that's between what your ear is hearing and what your hands can do, right? So this time through the chord changes, I'm going to use some of this stuff that we talked about, but I'm going to let my ear guide me as far as what wants to come next. And I'm going to use some things that come from the language that I've developed, that I've grabbed pieces from different influences and stuff. So I don't know what I'm going to play, but let's see. All right, you ready? I'm going to turn the loop up a little bit. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, Okay, so you get the idea. You know, that might have not have been that great, but who cares? You know, I'm just following my ear and trying to play what my ear wants to hear. And yeah, and it's fun. So what I recommend you do as your next project is pick one of these approaches and really dig into it and try to get the most out of it that you can. And don't try to do all of them in one practice session. Just pick one and do it for a week or two, you know, till you get bored of it. And I would love to hear how it's going. So please let me know in the comments if you do practice this stuff and how it's going. And if you found some value in this lesson, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments as to other stuff that you'd like to learn. All right, in the meantime, have fun, and I'm going to play some more.